Hello and welcome to YNWA Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this. Virgil van Dijk hits back at Wayne Rooney over lazy Liverpool leadership criticism. Virgil van Dijk has hit back at Wayne Rooney's comments over a lack of leadership at Liverpool. The Reds captain branded the Manchester United legend's analysis as lazy criticism. Liverpool ended a run of 4 successive Premier League defeats on Saturday night as they beat Aston Villa 2-0 at Anfield to move up to third in the table, level on points with second-placed Bournemouth ahead of their trip to Manchester City on Sunday afternoon. Such a sequence was the worst of the Netherlands international's time at the club since his January 2018 move from Southampton, and former United, Everton and England striker Rooney was critical of Van Dijk at the top of the week on his BBC podcast as he said, Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah, they've signed new deals, but I don't think they've really led that team this season. Van Dijk offered a measured reply following Saturday's win over Villa, saying it is easy to lay the blame at the door of the team's most experienced operators. I didn't hear him last year, Van Dijk said. No, it doesn't hurt me to be honest. Just to come back to this particular player, obviously a legend, a big player of the game who inspired so many, I can say only positive things. But I feel that comment is just, I would say it's a bit of a lazy criticism. That's my personal opinion. It's easy to blame the older players, but he knows obviously as well as everyone else, we do it together, trying to help each and every one of us to try to get out of this. And, like I said as well, last year when things go well, you don't hear that at all. It is what it is. Pundits have to do that job as well, so it is what it is. Like I said, he has an opinion, and we have to deal with it. And there's no hard feelings, by the way. I don't take it personally whatsoever. Van Dijk added, I think it's a funny thing, isn't it? Because last year we didn't hear anything about this criticism, because obviously things were going well, and we were also seen as the leaders. And this year, when things are not going as well as we want so far the last couple of weeks, then we're not doing our job properly. So that's the life we live. We feel that responsibility. We want to lead by example. Obviously, I can only speak for myself in this case, by the way. I know I'm the captain. I know that if we do not have the best results or not great performances, then myself and the manager will definitely always be questioned. That's part and parcel, you know. And that's what comes with it. I want to perform not for myself, but for the team, for the club. That's what I've been doing for all those years. I want to win things. I want to win games, especially, and I've been very fortunate to win so many games with the club, especially here at home. And when there are difficult moments, I try to help my teammates. I try to put them in front of me and want to make them perform as in the best possible shape, and then when things don't go well, then that's the world we live in, and people question loads of stuff, especially when you lose. How many did we lose? 6 in the last 7, yeah. So, you know, there are so many platforms nowadays that everyone can say whatever they like, and it gets blown up. I've mentioned it after previous games. We have to stick together, focus on the task ahead, winning games. That's the only thing we can control. And it's not easy to do that for everyone, but for me, I'm mature enough, and I have a very stable life that I will be able to do. So, goals from Salah, his 250th for the Reds, and Ryan Gravenberch got Arne Slot's side back to winning ways ahead of a huge week that sees Real Madrid return to Anfield in the Champions League on Tuesday before a visit to Man City in the Premier League next Sunday. Supporters across Anfield aired their vocal support for the under fire Slot on the night, and Van Dijk believes it was a message that the fans are firmly behind the head coach and the players as they look to get their campaign back on track. I heard the fans singing for Slot, Van Dijk said. Obviously, I've heard the reports as well about him being under pressure and stuff. But I don't think we play at the club that makes rash decisions. I think we all felt, and I think you all can agree on that we can work our way out of this. Obviously, it's not a guarantee, but we can do it together. As long as we believe, as long as we stay humble and keep working, I feel like we can do it. And we all have that feeling. We have to keep going, and obviously you never know what happens. It's football. This is the life we live. But we have to go on, and I feel like internally there's no doubt that we can do this together. It's a team thing, isn't it? You need everyone to be at their best to win games, and obviously today I think we played a solid game and we got the well-deserved 3 points. Now we go home, recover, and we focus on Real Madrid. Alan Shearer shares Arsenal title verdict that Liverpool will not want to hear. Alan Shearer has expressed his belief that Arsenal is a team without any weaknesses as it aims for Premier League glory. The Gunners are currently leading the pack and are favorites to lift the trophy at the end of the season, having established a 7-point lead at the top of the table after just 10 games. Mikel Arteta's squad maintained their position at the summit with a 2-0 triumph over newly promoted Burnley on Saturday, with Victor Gyökeres and Declan Rice netting the goals at Turf Moor. Following this victory, Shearer stated that he sees no reason why Arsenal can't eventually clinch the title. "I can't see a weakness," said the former England international. "They've scored again from a set piece, but there's been so much more than that in their performance. I like the way they're using Ricardo Calafiori and Jurriën Timber in advanced positions to create overloads and win set-piece opportunities." Shearer isn't the only one tipping Arsenal for success this season following Saturday's win. Scott Parker, Burnley's manager and Arteta's counterpart, also suggested that the Gunners are a formidable force with no apparent weaknesses. "They're just a very, very good team," conceded Parker in his post-match press conference. "They're a team who I believe have every single ingredient to go and win the league this season. In every facet of their game, defensively, attacking-wise, set plays, they're a top team. We just fell a little bit short today." Whilst Arsenal has received widespread acclaim for their performance, manager Mikel Arteta chose not to discuss title aspirations, instead focusing his praise on his squad's display at Turf Moor. He said, "Very happy, as it's a really tough place to come. They've lost once here in 18 months against Liverpool with the last kick of the game from a penalty. I think we started the game exceptionally well. I think the first half was one of the best that we've played. Scored 2 goals, generated another 2 or 3 big chances, and conceded nothing. That was a platform because in the second half we dropped the standards, especially with the ball and with our intentions to take more risks and play forwards. But again, defensively, we were exceptional until the point of the free kick. We were a bit lucky that it hit the post and we kept the clean sheet." The Gunners will now shift their attention to European competition this week, facing Czech side Slavia Prague in the Champions League. Following that, they return to domestic duties at the weekend with a challenging away fixture against high-flying Sunderland. Liverpool skipper Virgil van Dijk loses ground on Dutch sports icon after $66 million boost. Max Verstappen has surpassed Virgil van Dijk to become the wealthiest sports personality in the Netherlands. The Formula One star is currently the highest-paid driver on the circuit, with an annual salary of nearly $66 million, $50 million. The Dutch publication, quote, 500 recently published their updated list of the richest individuals in the Netherlands, and Verstappen's earnings have soared. He first appeared on the net worth rankings in 2022, starting at the bottom in 500th place. Now he's climbed to 264th, having accumulated a remarkable $300,229 million during his F1 career. This rise of almost 240 places has seen him overtake Liverpool ace Van Dijk, who is the highest earner in the entire Dutch national team. It comes after Van Dijk hit back at the criticism Liverpool has faced following the win over Aston Villa. Van Dijk's estimated worth is around 163 near, significantly less than his fellow countryman, who is 6 years his junior. The richest individual in the Netherlands is still a considerable distance away from both Verstappen and Van Dijk, with a net worth of $2.2 billion, $1.7 billion. This title is held by Dutch media mogul John de Mol, renowned for creating television successes like Big Brother, The Voice and Deal, or No Deal. Both athletes would need to put in quite a bit of effort to reach that level of wealth, but Verstappen currently tops the list as the richest active sportsman. The F1 star recently secured 3rd place at the Mexican Grand Prix last weekend as he fights to retain his World Championship title. Lando Norris overtook McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri in the standings, with just 1 point separating the pair. Meanwhile, Verstappen is hot on the heels, trailing by 36 points, but F1 legend Martin Brundle believes the Dutchman should have been penalized during the race for not making an effort to stay on track. Commenting on the incident where the 28-year-old veered off at the start of the race, Sky Sports pundit Brundle stated, "Max should have had a penalty, because if you put your car on the far left and four abreast, it will go on the curb." You can see Max actually accelerate, really skillful driving through the grass. I must say, but Max made no effort whatsoever to take turns 1, 2, or 3, and that should have been a penalty. Max took the risk on the outside, knowing full well he could just bury the throttle and carry on. I might even have given somebody doing what Max did a drive-through really as a proper deterrent to stop the silliness, because then it all gets chaotic. Liverpool and Premier League rivals have AFCON concern after Ruben Amorim admission. Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim has sounded an early alarm ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations, expressing concern over the potential loss of key players in December. His worries are particularly heightened due to the impressive partnership between Ivorian international Ahmad and Cameroonian forward Bryan Mbeumo on the right wing. "We will have time to suffer," Amorim commented when discussing the duo. "We are going to struggle a little bit, but we already knew it's going to be an opportunity. When I watch the training, there are players that should be playing, but it's hard with one game to take some players from the team, because they are doing well also during the training in games. So other players are going to have the opportunity to help us. They are understanding the way we want to play. So if we are improving on that, the change of characteristics is not going to change the idea or the momentum of the team. But let's use Ahmad and Bryan in these games and we will see in general." The Africa Cup of Nations kicks off on December 21st, with players joining their national teams slightly earlier. With the final not scheduled until January 18th, some clubs could be without their top players for up to a month, including Liverpool losing talisman Mohamed Salah. Ahmad's recent goal against Nottingham Forest only underscores how much he might be missed. There are some notable absentees from the forthcoming AFCON, with Ghana being one of those missing out. This means that players such as Mohamed Kudus and Antoine Semenyo will remain with their clubs while other African stars jet off to Morocco for the tournament. The impact will be felt more severely by some clubs than others. Arsenal won't experience any disruption, but it's a different tale for their title competitors. Manchester City will lose Rayan Ait Nouri to the Algerian national team and Omar Marmoush to Egypt, while Liverpool star Salah is also expected to be part of Egypt's squad. Bournemouth and Sunderland, both performing well, have representatives vying for a spot in host nation Morocco's squad, with Amin Adli and Kemsdine Talbi both called up during the October break. Talbi isn't Sunderland's only potential absentee, with Renildo, Mozambique, Habib Diarra, Senegal, Simon Adingra, Côte d'Ivoire, Bertrand Traoré, Burkina Faso, and Arthur Masuaku and Noah Siddiqui, both DR Congo, all qualifying, and backup keeper Blondie Enna. Nukel an outside bet for the Cameroon squad. Tottenham will keep Kudus in London but could potentially lose both Yves Bissouma, Mali, and Pape Matar Sarr, Senegal. United, as mentioned, will be without Ahmad and Mbeumo. While Noussair Mazraoui could be back in the Morocco picture after injury, Chelsea have an opportunity to capitalize in December and January with no first-team players away at AFCON, while Aston Villa will only lose Ivorian international Ivan Guessand. Crystal Palace could face a more challenging period, with Ismaila Sarr, Senegal, and Christantus Uke, Nigeria, both recently featuring for their national teams, while Cheikh Doucouré, Mali, and Chadi Riyad, Morocco, could still represent their countries if they recover from long-term injuries in time. Brentford are bracing themselves for the loss of record-signing Dango Ouattara, Burkina Faso, and midfielder Frank Onyeka, Nigeria, as well as young goalkeeper Marley Tavaziva, Zimbabwe. They're not alone in potentially losing a big-money summer edition. Yon Wissa, DR Congo, has yet to make his Newcastle debut but could be called up for international duty soon. There's some good news for Brighton, with Yankuba Minte's Gambia side failing to qualify, although Carlos Baleba is set to join his Cameroon teammates. Everton striker Beto will also remain at home after Guinea-Bissau only finished third in their qualifying group. But Iliman Ndiaye and Idrissa Gueye, both Senegal, and summer signing Adam Asnou, Morocco, may well be absent. Leeds won't be losing any players to Morocco, but it's a different story for fellow newcomers Burnley. Axel Tuanzebe, a former England youth international, now plays for DR Congo at the international level, while Hannibal is in contention for Tunisia, and Lyle Foster has been scoring goals for South Africa in their qualification campaign. The final 4 clubs in the Premier League will experience varying impacts. Alex Iwobi, Nigeria, could be a significant loss for Fulham, with Calvin Bassey and Samuel Chukwueze also part of the last Super Eagles squad, although Nottingham Forest's ex-Fulham player Ola Aina might miss the tournament due to injury, and Taiwo Awoniyi isn't a guaranteed selection for manager Eric Chelle. Forest are still likely to lose Willy Boley and Ibrahim Sangare, both Côte d'Ivoire, while West Ham are bracing themselves for the absence of fullbacks Aaron Wan-Bissaka, DR Congo, and El Hadji Malik Diouf, Senegal. Lastly, Wolves could find themselves short of several players including Marshall Munetsi and Tawanda Chirewa, both Zimbabwe, Emmanuel Agbadu, Côte d'Ivoire, Tolu Arokodar, Nigeria, and Jackson Chachua, Cameroon. Thank you for watching. Like and comment, subscribe.